Hi, this is Eric Lucero with Pitbull Audio, here with Alex Kova, the new owner of Boomerang pedals, and we're going to check out what's been happening with the company. Good to see you, Alex.
Good day.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. So how about you start off by telling us about your personal history with the Boomerang phrase sampler?
Okay, so my personal history, that's actually a hysterical story. When I originally tried this pedal, I was using an Akai. Have you heard of those? They've been around for like
the Head Rush?
20 years.
Yeah.
Right. And pretty limited. And a buddy of mine turned me onto this pedal, and I initially wasn't getting it. I'll totally confess, I wasn't, and I had no patience, which has been a problem for a long time. And so I kind of put it and let it collect dust for a couple of weeks. Actually, no, more like a year. And then I came back to it, and I called my buddy. I go, would you please give me a tutorial, one-on-one, in your garage on how to use this thing? And I overcomplicated it. I really did. Actually, the learning curve wasn't that difficult whatsoever. So I quickly started to use it, fell in love with it, used it at my gigs, and then I called the owner, the previous owner of the company, and I said, do you do artist endorsements? And he said, yeah, so send me a video. So I sent him a video using the pedal, and he's like, yeah, cool, this is great. We're gonna make you an artist. And fast forward 3 years later, you want me to tell you that story?
Sure, go ahead.
Fast forward 3 years later, he said, I'm gonna retire and sell the company. And he wasn't asking me to buy it, he was just telling me. And just conversation, we became, you know, pretty good friends. He lives in Texas, so I never met the guy. We're in San Diego, by the way. And so, I don't know, about another year goes by, and he said he's having a hard time finding a buyer for the company, which really surprised me, because this is an amazing product. This is, in my opinion, the best looper, hands down, out there. So I threw my name into the hat and said, well, what if I buy the company? And he goes, well, what do you know about running a guitar pedal company? I said, absolutely nothing. I don't know anything about running a guitar pedal company. So he goes, okay. So he appreciated my honesty, but he also enjoyed my enthusiasm. And again, fast forward like another month, he calls me back and he says, okay, I've made a decision. You're the guy. You still want the company? I said, yes, I do. This was going to be awesome. So that's how I ended up buying the Boomerang company.
Nice. So you bought it from Mike Nelson and Lee Hardesty.
Yes.
So, by the way, Mike passed away a couple of years ago, I believe. Lee passed away, I'm sorry, a couple of years ago in Texas, 2015. Rest in peace. So what state was Boomerang in when you took over?
When I took over, Boomerang was still going strong, but he didn't order any more supplies. He was pretty much out of stock when he was trying to sell the company.
Gotcha, wow.
So I bought the company with very, very little, maybe accessory stuff, some cables, some Holy Rollers, which is an expression volume pedal, but zero boomerangs, zero sidecars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I had to hit the ground running to ramp production up all over again from scratch, which I'll tell you is 1,000 times harder than you think it is. It's extremely difficult to do.
So why don't you tell us about the transition period? What did you take on and how did you pick up the company?
You're gonna make me cry. So I didn't think it would be as difficult as it was. I ended up calling all the suppliers for all the buttons, the foot switches, the overlay, the nuts, the screws, the circuit boards. And you're not going to believe this, but I couldn't get one single person to call me back.
Really?
Not one single person returned my phone call and believed, I'm the new owner of Boomerang, can you please return my call? I need to order some parts. So that's when I called Mike. I go, Mike, I need you to intervene and help me out and let them know this is not a prank call, that I really am the new owner.
Nice.
He said, yeah, no problem. So he was kind enough to call all these people for me and go, yes, this company now belongs to Alex Kova. Please take his phone call. He needs to order some parts.
Right on. Well, Lisa, we've been selling them. They're back in stock. They're fantastic product, of course.
Yes.
So you've been using these for a long time. Compared to other loopers that have been in the market, like the Akai that you mentioned, or the TC Electronics, what has kept you personally with the Boomerang 3?
What has kept me with it? Well, what differentiates us from a lot of competitors is the fact that, well, it's shaped differently, as you can notice. No, but in all seriousness, we have 3 loops and a yellow bonus button that you can turn into a 4th loop. We have a quantized mode, which means that once you set up Master 3, that the other 1 and 2 will quantize perfectly in time to what loop number 3 is doing. There are several other factors, and I would love to, he's hiding here somewhere, he's kind of camera shy. I would love to include my Boomerang tech. Jeff, can you want to chime in a little bit on some of the technical aspects here?
Sure, I don't have a mic.
Come on right up.
Come on up, brother.
Here, you can take my seat here.
Hello. How's it going, Alex?
It's going great. How you doing, man? I haven't seen you in like 3 minutes. It's been a while.
For sure. So what's going on?
So this gentleman has a question for you on the technical aspect of the pedal.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was just simply asking what differentiates the Boomerang 3 from the other loopers on the market, such as from TC Electronic and Akai and other companies that have been out there for a while. What are the main features that really set this apart in the market?
Okay. I would say the number one feature is the flexibility with time. So as he mentioned, Master Loop 3, thanks for holding it up for me.
Sure.
Master Loop 3, you make an initial loop on this looper, and once you do that, the other 2 loops, and possibly 4, right, if you have 4 selected, will sync to this. But it doesn't have to be the same timing. For instance, you make a 1-measure loop on this one, you can make a 2-measure loop or a 3-measure loop, 4-measure loop. It's multiples of.
Correct.
So a really good way I like to use it is I will make a 2-bar loop on Master 3. That way I have the flexibility of going 4 bars, 8 bars, 12 bars, 16 bars. But it didn't take me a long time to make a perfect loop. It's easy to make, or it's easier, I should say, to make a 1 or 2 bar loop and have it actually sound good in time. And once you do that, the hard work's over. You can actually hit these buttons before you want it to start, and the loop, they will flash and they will wait. That's one feature. The other thing I think that is really unique about this pedal is they really did a good job with the audio quality. They this thing samples at 48 kilohertz, which is a bit higher. Normally, I think normally pedals that are samplers like this will sample at 44.1, which is the CD quality standard. 48K is, even though it's just a bit higher, it actually offers quite a bit better clarity in the higher end. So so instead of just using electric guitar, you can use acoustic guitar. You can sing through it. You can use a keyboard, synth, violin. People use
anything
violin.
with a pickup.
Yeah.
If your instrument has a pickup, you can plug it into this looper.
Of course. Or if it doesn't, you can mic it. And
you can mic it. That's correct too. Yeah.
So yeah, that 48K gives that higher end clarity and really gives this thing some nice, warm and clear sound.
So basically, what you put into it, you're gonna get. I've got it right here, brother. Yeah. But maybe I need 2 mics. Whatever signal you put into it, your instrument is going to be a true replica of that sound. So you're not going to hear a diminished sound quality coming out of your amplifier. Yeah. So it's whatever you spit in comes right back out the way you expect it to hear it.
That's right. And we've gotten a lot of compliments from customers saying that when you use this thing in a huge setting, like a big
Arena,
concert hall or
stadium.
arena with a big board and huge sound system, that this one is the only one that stands up in that setting, where the gain structure and everything, where the quality actually doesn't diminish, because things will really diminish when they're in a huge setting. If you have something with a little bit of a like tinny sound or an audio quality problem, you may not notice it until you take it to that stadium.
level. Yeah.
So apparently this stands up. I've never tried it in a stadium setting, but apparently people have, and they love it.
Right on. Yeah, thank you. Well, no worries. Thank you very much for explaining some of the details for us. And I mean, it is a very versatile product, and for those that are very on about timing and looping it in, or well, not looping in, but tying it in with other MIDI products.
Yes.
It's nice that on the back we can see we have stereo ins and outs, and we also have MIDI ports. Do you utilize the MIDI in your performances when you use the Boomerang 3?
I do. In fact, I'm actually good friends with the gentleman who owned Beat Buddy, and they told me that when they were designing their pedal, they purposely designed part of it to work specifically with the Boomerang, which was incredibly flattering. And I didn't even own the company at that time.
Nice.
So I'm like, well, that's awesome, and you guys are awesome, because they're very cool guys. So with the, if you own the Beat Buddy, and I highly suggest picking it up, and they do carry it here at Pitbull Audio.
Yes, we do.
So when you plug it into the MIDI, it syncs up perfectly in quantized mode. So works seamlessly with the pedal.
Nice, right on. So it's very easy to use MIDI, nothing over the top.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, old school MIDI programming. We also have the expression pedal jack right here. Now,
Yes.
Boomerang also makes the Holy Roller.
Yes, the Holy Roller.
And can you tell us a little bit about that one right there?
So the Holy Roller is shaped very similarly to this pedal, except it's only about this wide, but it's the same shape on the side. It's got a roller on it. So instead of having a teeter-totter type of a volume pedal, it's an actual roller that you roll with your foot to turn the volume up and down, or to express a sound that you want to swell in and swell out. And we're actually kind of on the fence. We would love to get your feedback to continue this product, because we're kind of on the fence about continuing the product. There's just a lot of volume and expression pedals out there, and we may feel that just sticking to looping, may be the way we want to go for now.
Right on.
But we'd love to get your feedback on that. So
It's definitely a very unique product. I've seen them for years and always was enamored with that roller design. But even if that does go away, you guys have the Sidecar as well, which is a remote unit for the Boomerang 3. Could you please tell me about the Sidecar?
Absolutely. So the Sidecar looks identical to the Boomerang, except it says Sidecar on it. And it's an extension of this pedal, which allows you to open up Loop 4. And then it takes features such as play, stop, all, erase, and stack, and it takes it over to the Sidecar. That's why Mike and Lee called it the Sidecar, so literally. And I use it with my rig because it allows me to quickly access erase, play, stop, all, and stack, those features, much faster than as a standalone unit. Plus, I really do need, personally for my rig, I need Loop 4. I still gig out to this day. I love to keep playing. And so yeah, we're still going to carry the Sidecar.
Nice, and it's like you said, it's about the same size.
Identical size.
And it's like, say, if this is back here, if this was your pedal board, you could have the Sidecar right up front for easy access, of course.
So my favorite setup, honestly, is to have the Boomerang over here, have the donuts in the middle, and then have the Sidecar on this side over here. So that's
right on, right on. Now, you guys also had a fantastic chorus delay that I had. I used to own at one point. So
really,
can you tell me?
Did?
Yeah,
How long ago did you buy that?
Oh wow, let's see. It was 2008, 2009.
Wow.
I want to say around there, just before 2010.
And how did you come across discovering that pedal?
eBay.
You weren't even looking for it? You just stumbled across it?
Yeah, I always looking for different delay and modulation effects, and I hadn't seen until that point that Boomerang had made it, and I loved it.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I just life and bills that come and go weren't able to hold on to it. So are you guys gonna continue with that one as well?
No, in fact, before I purchased the company, Mike, previous owner, had already discontinued the product. I was lucky enough to find one on eBay myself in mint condition. So I'm like, I got to grab this thing just in case we never bring this back. And I really enjoyed it a lot. It's a very 80s sounding chorus to me, like the Police and Prince. It was very specific to that era. But we have, who is it, Jeff? Is it Modest Mouse who refuses to use any other chorus pedal? Yeah, so the guitar player from Modest Mouse exclusively uses that, and he buys them all his backups anywhere he can find them. So he called us a few times and said, "Please tell me you have a backup you can sell me." And I go, "I'm sorry, man. You're gonna have to look on Craigslist and eBay and Reverb.com." And
right on. Was that Isaac Brock?
I apologize. I don't know the gentleman's name. Jeff, do you know his name? Sorry.
It's all good. Nonetheless, a fantastic band.
But we still have some pretty hardcore fans out there when it comes to that chorus delay pedal, and so.
Right on.
You never know. You never know. Anything's possible in the future. Anything's possible.
So with that in mind, where do you see Boomerang as a company going forward in the future?
Well, I can tell you that there were several requests for additional features before I purchased the company. I can't get too specific, but I can at least talk about a little bit of, you know, a little couple secrets, just a few here. Because I can't be, it's like Apple, you know, they don't disclose anything until the product actually comes out.
Yeah.
So, but one thing that's been a huge request is a USB or an SD card.
Yeah.
That's been a huge request, which already exists on some competitors' pedals. Another feature that's been requested is memory, which again already exists on other pedals, but we're going to approach those two requests very, very differently. And again, I can't tell you how, but I promise you it'll be in a much more unique way.
Right on.
To incorporate that.
I look forward to that. I
so
love the idea.
I don't have a set date either. I would say that's at least a couple years out.
Right on. So we'll be patient and definitely look forward to what's coming from Boomerang. Now, you mentioned someone from Modest Mouse, maybe or maybe not Isaac Brock's using the Boomerang. I'm a huge fan of L1011, band from Los Angeles that does a lot of instrumental music, and I know they're huge on the Boomerang. What other artists are out there right now?
The guitarist from Fish.
Oh, Trey Anastasio?
You're gonna have to forgive me. I listen to a lot of different music, but not everybody. I'm sorry, I apologize.
No worries.
Yeah. So it's the guitarist from Fish. In fact, we were recently contacted by a musician from Blue Man Group.
Oh, right on.
Out of which location? Chicago. So apparently there's a Chicago show, which I didn't know a Blue Man Group exists in Chicago. I think Vegas.
Yeah.
So that was flattering. That was flattering. You know, it's really, it means I can't really express enough how much it means to me to know that there's so many people out there who want to see this product kept alive, to see it, you know, please keep it going and please evolve. You know, add another feature, make another version, and that's why I got involved, because I knew that there was a hardcore audience out there like myself, who I literally can't do a gig without this pedal, or I'm gonna sound like a very quiet James Taylor acoustic act in the corner without this pedal. So it has not only broadened my horizons tremendously on what's possible, it's actually made me a better musician.
Right on.
And I say that with all humility. It truly has. My timing has gotten better. My ability to solo has improved. Coming up with more creative ideas with the additional pedals that I use, such as a Pog for like bass lines, or a Moore. You guys still carry Moore?
Yes, we do carry
so
Moore.
I have your organ pedal.
There you go.
And it just opens up all these amazing possibilities to incorporate those other pedals and start looping that as well. You know, delay and reverb and chorus, and it's so much fun. And literally the possibilities are endless.
And actually, with that, could you give us some tips or tricks? Because I know, like, say in the bonus section here, there's some effects like reverse octave, and along with
solo.
the utility. Yeah, reverse
so we have
solo.
reverse and then reverse solo. And then we have octave. So if you want me to just give you a quick rundown, we have stack, which is basically layering all your loops. You know, so you lay down a loop and then you just literally start to stack one on top of the other. Some people call it layering, we call it stack. The next is erase. Of course, you want the option to erase all your loops all at once instead of erasing them individually. Once is a feature which is kind of interesting. Once, where it literally you activate once, you hit the loop you want to engage, and then it'll play one loop and stop. Is that correct, Jeff?
Yes.
On once. Okay, I got something right.
So a little bit like so a little bit like hitting a one-hit clip on Ableton or something like that. Just goes once through its cycle and done.
Right. Cool. And then we have reverse, which is really trippy. I personally have never used this at a gig. I've only experimented at my house, where you can reverse all your loops, and it's kind of freaky. I mean, it sounds kind of weird, but my tech, Jeff here, he swears that there are a lot of guys out there who use it that way. I haven't figured that out yet myself. I'm more of a straight ahead kind of a player.
So what's the difference between reverse and reverse solo then?
Reverse solo is the only built-in guitar effect, where if you had a standalone delay pedal and you pick the reverse feature on it, then, sorry, sugar crash, I need to take a bite of this donut. Then you could actually play your solos in reverse, and it's the only built-in effect that would be considered as like a standalone pedal feature.
Okay.
The octave is, right now, this is something we're going to improve on. So the octave works, I believe, only at half speed. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a tape slowdown.
So he's saying off camera, it's a tape slowdown.
Tape slowdown. And our goal is to make it work more like a Pog in the future, where you can adjust that frequency to replicate a bass guitar. We're not there yet. We're getting there. You got to just be a little patient with us on that.
For sure, yeah.
Play stop all, of course. So if you assign the green button to do play stop all, it will stop all your loops all at once instead of you individually tapping these buttons.
Nice.
Fade is really nice, kind of like somebody's recording a song in the studio, and instead of abruptly stopping the song, they tell the engineer, no, I think we want to fade out the song on this record. Yeah. And it works exactly like that, and you can set the timing of how slow or fast it fades you out. I have some friends who use it. I got to be honest with you, it's not my thing, because to me it sounds like you're playing the radio. Yeah. And it doesn't have that live aspect anymore. So I like to do abrupt stops, like, nope, the song's over, the loops are done, stop.
Instead of fading out behind you, like someone's pulling a fader on a track.
Right. So, I mean, I'm glad that other people love it. I personally don't use it, but you know, let me see here. Undo. Undo is really cool. So let's say you stack on loop 1 4 different things. It will, if you hit the undo button, it will eliminate or remove the last thing you just looped.
Okay.
So the 3 other layers will remain, and then the fourth layer will be taken away. But then if you hit undo again, it'll bring it back.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay,
it will bring
gotcha.
it back. And there's a song that I use that non-stop on, which is a perfect example, which is Coldplay's, what's that newest song?
No.
What's that guitar riff? And it's got the monkeys dancing in the video, and
Sorry, I don't know which one you're
you know, you gotta
talking
see
about,
it.
unfortunately.
Dude, you gotta look at this video on YouTube. It's gorillas dancing, and they took out the band and said, no, let's just have dancing animated gorillas.
Why not, right?
Why not? That's why I have donuts sitting here for no random reason. But that's what I like to do when I play, is to remove that guitar lick when I sing, and then on the chorus I bring it back in.
Gotcha.
That guitar lick, and
Yeah,
and I can show you that later in the video.
Right on.
And then let me see, we're almost done here.
Copy and loop are left.
Copy. So if you wanted to, copy works literally like copy and paste on your computer.
Oh, right
Works
on.
exactly that way. And then loop 4, which is the last one here. So you can turn the yellow bonus into loop 4, and then use your sidecar to control erase, stack, and play stop all.
Oh, nice.
If you turn this into loop 4.
So the sidecar expands on your usability along with that loop 4.
Yeah, so the biggest advantage to the sidecar is it opens up loop 4 is the biggest advantage, but there are a lot of people who are totally content using this as a standalone unit. I have a lot of friends who use it as a standalone unit. I just play a lot of complicated songs myself that I need the sidecar.
Right on. Well, you know what you need to do. Of course,
Yeah.
you own the company.
It's all personal taste. There's no wrong answer.
Now, is there anything else you want to add about some advantages to using the Boomerang over other loopers that people might not see on the surface when they look at features and what's available on it?
So one thing that we would love to delve into is the DJ part of the industry.
Okay.
There's a lot of ways you can use this with a DJ application.
Awesome. Right on. Sounds good to me. Now, anything else you want to leave potential customers of the Boomerang 3 with?
Just that we apologize to those who already know that supply has been difficult to keep up with, demand, and we're striving to improve on that every day. It's a good problem to have, though, when you can't keep up with demand.
Yeah, true.
It is a good problem.
That's a good problem.
But we're trying our best to, to get our manufacturer to not lag so much on that. And trust me, we've been on top of that. All I can tell you is that, most importantly, for those of you that are on a budget, I completely understand that this being almost a $500 pedal can seem pretty expensive, but I promise you this, if you do 2 or 3 gigs, you just paid for your pedal.
Yeah.
I cannot express to you how much money this pedal has made me.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm all the endless gigs that I've done, this pedal has paid for itself 1,000 times over. Right. So from that point of view, I think it's worth every dollar. It's a great investment from that point of view.
Yeah, and I mean, you're a great example. You're someone who used it for years and years,
right.
gig upon gig upon gig, and you loved it so much that you went out to buy the company when it was
yeah.
in trouble. So I mean, that's a great testament to how fantastic of a looper the Boomerang 3 is. And I mean, as you explained to us, the usefulness of the sidecar just makes it an incredible asset to your pedal board.
Absolutely.
So go check out at is it boomerangsampler.com?
It's boomeranglooper.com.
Boomeranglooper.com,
Very easy to
excuse
remember.
me.
That's all right.
And come into Pitbull Audio, check them out. And if you want examples of people who utilize it greatly, the band L1011 makes great use of the Boomerang, as well as Sarah Lipstate, who goes under the Noveler, who makes incredible soundscapes using loopers and other effects, such as the Boomerang 3. So go check it out. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for your time, brother.
No worries, man.
Thank you, guys.
This has been Eric Lucero for Pitbull Audio, checking out the Boomerang 3.